Hey everyone. From classic street tacos to birria tacos, Houston has it all when it comes to our official, unofficial city food, tacos. But with so many places to pick from, it can get a little overwhelming. So I wanted to play back our interview from earlier this year with Houston Chronicle taco columnist Marco Torres to give his best recommendations and take us on a Houston taco road trip. It's Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. I'm Raheel Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. Marco, welcome into CityCast Houston. How are you, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing really great. Thanks for the invite. I love talking tacos, so I'm here.
Oh, man, I'm so pumped to take this taco road trip around the city of Houston. But before we get started and get your recommendations, I want to know what makes a perfect taco for you so the listeners know what they're kind of measuring up against.
Right. So usually we talk about what we call the holy trinity of tacos, which is you start with a tortilla, a really good tortilla, preferably homemade or handmade. If not, hopefully you get it at a local tortilleria, something good, something fresh, hasn't been sitting on the shelf for more than a day or two or a few days at least, Then you have, of course, your proteins or your veggies or whatever the filling is going to be for your taco. Those usually obviously need a little bit of seasoning, whether it's veggies or meat or whatever. And then to top it all off is the salsa, whether you like spicy or just enough to give it a little kick or enough to make you like sweat and tear up. It's all personal preference. But, if you can have the best of all three worlds of that holy trinity, you're doing pretty good.
So describe your favorite taco, right? Is it a beef one, pork, chicken, what?
Usually, I'm a carnivore, so I would say probably beef. We live in Houston, so fajita is the king here. So, a good fajita taco chopped up with some good green salsa on a house-made or homemade corn tortilla. You really can't go wrong.
Ooh.
I love flour tortillas as well, but, you have the Mexican flour tortillas, you have a Tex-Mex flour tortillas. There's all kinds of range there.
Yeah, there really is. As long as it's not chicken, by the way. I cannot do chicken on tacos. I know there's some places that do a good one, but man, if you're ordering a chicken taco, then you're probably a 5-year-old.
I just had a fried chicken taco the other day, and it was
different.
Really, really good. So
fried chicken is okay, I think.
So I think where people go wrong is that people try to do chicken breast, but no, you got to go with chicken thighs, man.
Ooh, yeah.
More juicy, more flavor.
Hey, dark meat is where it's at, baby. All right, let's talk about the spots that we need to hit up. All right, we're going to start inside the loop and then work our way outside to all the suburbs and the area.
Yeah.
So let's get started. First one, what is your recommendation for us inside the loop?
So inside the loop, I'm thinking more like somewhere in downtown. If you're going to go to get some birria in downtown, there's a place called Space City Birria. It's 415 Milam Street. I just had them recently and met the owner, talked to them, got their story. Really amazing people over there. You have Calavera Mexican Kitchen, which is also a Bravery Chef Hall in downtown. And then you have, inside the loop, you have Brothers Taco House, Laredo Taqueria. Two of the mainstays for breakfast tacos, breakfast and lunch tacos in the loop. So
nice. I like that. Man, those are that's like immediately there's some good spots right there that we need to start with, right? Especially with the breakfast tacos. I'm with it. Okay.
I like it because you go in, you see whatever you want behind the steam table, and then you kind of pick whatever, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And then your day's made.
Man, that's perfect. All right, let's go out to some of the neighborhoods closer to downtown Heights, Montrose area. Any recommendations there?
Heights has some really good tacos. You have Chilosos, which is on 20th Street. Also, their breakfast tacos and their barbacoa and all kinds of other tacos that they have. They have one called Chapel Hill Sausage and Egg, which is one of my favorites, with some queso, with some cheese on top. You have TJ Birria y Mas going along with the birria. They do something called birria ramen. So it's literally a cup of noodles, ramen, with some birria and consomme in there, and you just kind of go to town with it, especially when it's cold. We're in the middle of summer right now, so it's not exactly the best thing, but when it gets a little bit under, 60 degrees, it's cold in Houston?
Yeah, then
70
we're good.
degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Montrose, you're always going to have La Guadalupana on Dunleavy. Tacos Tierra Caliente, next to the West Alabama Ice House, is a neighborhood favorite.
Yes.
And one of my go-tos actually is Pico's Mexican Restaurant, which is right at the edge of Montrose and Upper Kirby, River Oaks. Pico's has an amazing taco menu.
Yeah, what do you get there? What's your play?
They have a chicharrón and salsa verde, so it's like pork and like a green salsa on their house made flour maíz tortillas. Oh, it's delicious.
Man, we're only 2 recommendations in,
You're
or
already
2
hungry,
spots,
huh?
and I'm already hungry, man. You're killing me here, Marco. I love it.
That usually happens.
All right, let's start working. We're going to go clockwise.
Yeah.
Let's start the north side / northeast. What do you got?
So I'm from the north side. I'm north side, 45 North. Little York, Airline, Parker, Tidwell. I literally live in the backyard of Gallery Furniture, so I see
Man.
Gallery Furniture from my backyard. So there's a lot of really good tacos up in the north side. I like my favorite. People ask me what the best taco in Houston is, and that always changes. My favorite is always Taconazo. Taconazo's on Fulton Street. It's an old school taco truck. It's open, until late at night. And fajita tacos with some green salsa and a side of frijoles on the side with the Mexican Coke. Man, you really can't beat that, especially late at night.
Yeah.
There's another place in the north side called Alamo Tamale Company. They're on Berry Road. Really amazing tamales, obviously, but they also have like a steam table where you can just pick and choose either breakfast tacos or lunch tacos. You can get a plate to go with the tortillas on the side and make your own tacos when you get to the house, or eat them in your car. So, there's another place that I really like called Teotihuacan Mexican Cafe on the corner of Airline and North Main. Old school spot, Mexican, Tex-Mex food, amazing, like fajitas. And so their plates of fajitas, they're using the same quality of meat that the bigger guys use for probably like half the price.
Wow.
You're getting the same quality of meat, but they're just not, they're not in like River Oaks or in Montrose or the Heights. So their prices are a little bit more reasonable, but their food is equally as amazing.
Man, I love that. When it's good quality and good pricing and it's a locally owned spot. Ooh,
exactly.
That hits a spot. Man, that's a good one. All right, we're going to work to the east side now. What you got for the east siders?
Oh, man, east side.
That's packed.
There's a big history of really amazing food, especially in the east side. There's a place called the Original Villa Arcos, which recently just opened up after being closed for a couple of years. It's family restaurant, same thing. They've been going at it for a long time. A lot of people call them the best breakfast taco in Houston.
Wow.
So 3009 Navigation. It's a little bit further down than Ninfas on Navigation Boulevard. Cochinita and Company on Lawndale. Everything's made fresh ingredients, local ingredients. It's Chef Victoria and her mother are there making food for you, and it comes out and it's like you're sitting in their kitchen. And they come out and they talk to you and they hang out and they have almost frescas and all kinds of stuff for you to eat there.
Oh,
even like ceviches and stuff. There's a cool spot that I really like called Porras Prontito, which is actually in Denver Harbor off of Market Street. Old school spot. It's veteran owned. Their carne guisada is probably one of the best in the city. They serve it on this like big, fresh made flour tortilla with the carne guisada that they chop up every day with their special blend of spices. Yeah, that's delicious.
Like carne guisada, you have to have a good spot for it, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem with the good spots is they sell out usually because it takes so long to make. So you got to get there pretty early.
Right. Whenever I go there, there's usually like 4 or 5 people in front of me, and everybody's getting carne guisada.
Yeah.
So
Man.
If you go a little bit past lunch, you might not get one, but if you get there early, breakfast and an early lunch, you'll be good.
You got to get it. You got to get it. All right, let's go down to the south side. Man, there's heavy hitters everywhere, but Southside has some heavy hitters.
Man, Southside, right away off of Park Place, there's Taqueria del Sol. Taqueria del Sol is, also family owned, Houston through and through. They even do like fajita bowls. So they'll cut up the fajita, put it in a bowl with like rice and beans and like lettuce and veggies to kind of keep up with the keto and all those, those new healthy diets.
Yeah.
But it's still so good. And they have like trompo and fajitas and barbacoa and all kinds of really good, amazing food down in the south side. Taco steak is another one that I really like. It's like a Monterrey style taco, the bistec with a little bit of like cilantro and really spicy green salsa right by Hobby Airport, right off of the Gulf Freeway. And then if you've ever ridden around town and seen a green bus that's a taco truck, but it's a bus, it's probably going to be Taco Madre. Taco Madre is a really good. They've actually won best food truck in the city a couple of times. Not just taco truck, like best food truck period. And they're on Edgebrook, 905 Edgebrook. It's called Taco Madre. It's a big green bus. You can't miss it.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's good. Man, Southside, as I mentioned, heavy hitters and so many good places there. Let's go to the west side. I think this scene is picking up a little bit more and is kind of getting slept on at times because you got so many good spots on Highway 6, but nobody's talking about them. What we got on the west side?
I get a lot of recommendations for people that tell me Highway 6 is where it's at. And I've eaten at some places out there. I still have to do more research, like Highway 6 and even further down, like Katy area and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the furthest like west that I've actually really researched was like Spring Branch. And there's a place in Spring Branch off of Hammerly called Tacos Doña Elena.
Yes.
Amazing spot. Their birria tacos are great. Their chicken tacos, like you said. Like, I know you don't like chicken, or you don't prefer chicken. I don't say you don't like chicken. There's no chicken slander on this podcast.
No. And they make really good tortas too over there.
Their tortas are good, and then they give you like 6 or 7 like different salsas.
Yes.
Each one is spicier than the rest. And you just kind of have to go with whatever tastes the best.
Man.
But sometimes I get out of there and I'm sweating because I get there like habanero salsa sometimes, and it's delicious, but it's crazy.
It's funny. I'll use like their spiciest one, and then I'll cool down with their least mild, right? Like their mildest one, and that's just like my water. It's so good, man. That place, and the owners are so kind, and they're growing so fast, yet they still take the time to come talk to you, and the quality's good.
They are so packed every time I go. Yeah. Every time I go, there's people waiting out the door just trying to get in.
Man, I don't know if it's just a West Side thing because I'm in Richmond, Rosenberg area, right? So like the taco trucks near us, of course you got your standard tacos, but they do gringas that are so good. Those are like just more cheesy tacos, right?
Right. So I think gringas, there's 2 things called gringas and piratas. I think gringas are the ones with trompo and cheese, and then piratas are the ones with like carne de fajita or bistec and cheese. And they're both really good. So there's a crazy thing like, is it a quesadilla? Is it a gringa? Is it a pirata? Is it just a taco with cheese?
Yeah.
All I know is that they're delicious.
Yes, that's what I want. Like, hey, it's good, and I know they're kind of rolling their eyes at me when I order the gringas, right? Like, I know why they're making it, right? Like, I know. The name says it right there, right? But man, it's good. Like the way they melt the cheese on the flat top, woo, man, it hits it.
Yeah. And then there's another thing called a costra. If you've never had a costra, they put the cheese on the flat top without the tortilla. They just they make the cheese kind of crispy, and they use that as a tortilla.
I've seen that in L.A. I see that a lot on like L.A. food trucks. They'll do that.
So that's called a costra.
Okay.
Sometimes they use it as the tortilla. Sometimes they put it on a tortilla. But whenever you have the crispy cheese, that's what it's called, a costra.
I'm gonna ask my local truck to do that for me next time. They're gonna be like, "What are you doing? This isn't L.A." Because that is like more of a West Coast thing that I've seen on Instagram.
I've seen it all over. I've traveled all over Mexico as well, doing I call it my taco research.
Yeah,
I'm Mexican, so I mean I'm from North Mexico, so right across the border from Brownsville, Texas. I'm from Matamoros, Tamaulipas.
Yeah,
but I've traveled all over the country,
that's dope.
Both the U.S. and Mexico, eating tacos everywhere. And I've seen the costra like in Mexico City. I've seen it in Guadalajara, Monterrey. I've seen it several places, but I've seen it a lot here in the States too. Yeah.
All right, let's give me some wild cards. Come on, Marco. Give me a couple that we mentioned. Doesn't matter where we are on our road trip, but we just want to hit these spots up.
Man, so I know Chef Hugo Ortega. He has Hugo's restaurant. He has Xochitl in downtown, and Caracol in the gallery area. They just opened a new spot maybe a year ago, maybe a little bit more, in Uptown Park. It's called Urbe, Urbe, Urbe. And Urbe is great because they kind of take a little bit of all of the restaurants that he has, and they make it into like a fast casual kind of not fine dining location. So if you go there for like breakfast and lunch, you go up to the counter, you order it, and you go sit down and bring it to you. If you go for dinner, they have servers and people to come take your order. But man, one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth has been their queso flameado. It's their queso, their white cheese that's, they put brisket in it, and then they put it in their wood-fired oven, and they bring it to you with fresh flour tortillas that they make, and then you make your own little tacos.
Oh, man.
Probably, literally, one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, urbe, for sure.
We're stopping this interview right now, heading there. Yeah. I'll meet you there. Man,
yeah.
That's a good one.
The other place that I really like, it's on Washington Avenue near TC Jester. So there's a El Tiempo Cantina right there, right near the corner. Right next to it, there's a place. It used to be Matamoros Meat Market, but El Tiempo, I think, bought the naming rights, just like, Minute Maid Park, Minute Maid Bar. So El Tiempo bought the naming rights to this taqueria next door. And it used to be called Matamoros. Now it's called El Tiempo Market and Taqueria.
Oh.
And I think people they're like, why do you say El Tiempo is the best tacos? Not El Tiempo Cantina. El Tiempo Market and Taqueria, specifically this place on Washington Avenue, 5526. They also have like a steam table. Their fajitas are probably one of the best fajitas I've had in the city. Their menudo, the barbacoa. They do like these little pork ribs in salsa verde. To die for, man.
Yo.
To die for. They make their own tortillas there too.
Oh, that's even better.
Both flour and corn.
I didn't know there was naming rights for markets now. That's pretty cool.
So the cool thing about that place, every time I go, there's usually a long line, and it's always like construction workers and people like working class people standing in line. You're not going to see working class people stand in line for just any taco. When I go in there and I see that, I know I'm in the right place.
Yeah, that's respect right there, man. Final thing, Marco, how cool is it that you get to write about tacos, you get to research this and share your culture with everyone? How incredible of a journey is that?
I always tell people it's the best job I've ever had, and I've been training for this gig my whole life. So there's a photo of me when I'm like, as soon as they took the bottle out of my hand, they put a taco in my hand. There's a photo of me sitting down with my dad in the East Side, and he has a big plate of tacos in front of him, and I have like 2 tacos in front of me. And I mean, the love started from the very beginning. So
that's awesome, man. That is so cool, man. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your research and taking us on this awesome taco road trip, man. That was a lot of fun, and we'll see you out there, and hopefully we can share a taco here pretty soon.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, let's do it.
That was Marco A. Torres. You can find all of his recommendations filtered by location in our show notes. That will do it for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new. All right, let's do it. Oops. That's important.
You need that.